Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing Introduction to Abnormal Psychology Part 2 with Dr. Robert O'Phil on the Peterson Academy. I already did a review for Part 1, so if you guys want, you guys can go check that video out. I will try in the future to give you guys both of my reviews for Part 1s and Part 2s of future courses in the same video when I can. If I do split it up, I apologize, but today we're covering just Part 2. As always, I'll read you guys the synopsis on the Peterson Academy website first, then we'll take a look at the names of all of the lectures, and I'll kind of give you guys my thoughts on them, which ones did I like the most and whatnot. Then we'll go over the recommended books for the course, and we'll talk a little bit about those. You guys can let me know down below in the comments if you guys have any questions about the course at all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends to help boost this channel and the algorithm. And with that all out of the way, let's read the synopsis on the Peterson Academy website. In Introduction to Abnormal Psychology Part 2, a 7-hour course, Dr. Robert Phil highlights the interconnected challenges of depression, suicide, and addiction, examining their biological, psychological, and social aspects. He discusses the rise in mental health issues and contributing factors like genetics, neurobiology, and social influences. Treatments for depression are covered, ranging from antidepressants to CBT to emerging therapies like ketamine and personality-targeted approaches. The course also analyzes suicide trends and prevention. It concludes with a fascinating in-depth study of addiction, its neurobiology, and evidence-based prevention and treatment, focusing on high-risk groups and global trends. So yeah, hopefully that gives you guys a general overview of what this course covers. It's still in that abnormal psychology realm, but this part 2, tends to get more into the darker aspects. Will there be a Part 3? I'm not too sure, actually. This might be the end of the course. There might be another part, but I found Part 2 to really get into the darker stuff. Depression, addiction, suicide. These are much darker topics than what was covered in the first part, and I found it to be incredibly not just interesting, but also useful. So I think if you suffer with things like depression, if you suffer from things like addiction, or if you've had, God forbid, hopefully this hasn't happened to you, but if somebody in your life has taken their own life, this might be a course that you want to take to better understand that kind of stuff. And I thought that Robert Phil did a fantastic job of at presenting everything. He showed a lot of graphs, a lot of statistics. I know that can be overwhelming for some people. It's like, man, do I have to memorize all these numbers? Most of them you don't. Most of the graphs are kind of just there to show you something. But I would write down a lot of stuff. I would take a lot of notes for this course. I did do a couple of the quizzes and they were more difficult. Make sure you're taking some notes throughout this. There is a little bit of terminology and memorizing numbers and stats and stuff like that. But for the most part, like I said, I had such a great time with this course. It was so interesting and I learned so much throughout it. Next, I want to read for you guys the names of all of the lectures. There are only 6 lectures in this course. It's just a 6-lecture course. And if you guys want to pause and read the brief little descriptions for each of the lectures, you guys can do so, but I'm not going to read them out. I'll give you guys my general thoughts on the lectures after I'm done reading them. So the first lecture is A Rise in Depression. The second is Inside Depression. The third is Recognizing Risk. The fourth is Reducing Risk. The fifth is The Scope of Addiction. And the 6th lecture, the final lecture, is Breaking the Cycle. So yeah, hopefully that gives you guys a better sense of the direction of this course and kind of where it goes. I think it's a very, very well-structured course. I think Dr. Robert O'Phil has had a long time to perfect this course. He's a bit of an older professor on the Academy, so he's very seasoned at what he does, and he's just got it down to a T. He never seems like he's kind of breezing through it or just kind of trying to get through it. I kind of felt that a little bit from Michael Shermer. It felt like he was teaching this course for the 100th time and he was just trying to get through it a little bit. With Dr. Robert O'Phil, I don't feel that at all. Even though you can tell that he's taught this course many times, he still slips in the odd joke here and there. He tries to keep it light and fun, and he seems still to have a great passion for what he's spent his whole life researching. So that always makes the courses a lot easier to take. When you have a professor that's super passionate about what they're learning about, what they're trying to teach you about, it's so much easier to learn from somebody like that than somebody who's just kind of regurgitating things that they've kind of already said to people and they're just kind of half-assing it through it. I'm not saying that Michael Shermer was like the worst professor I've ever had in my life. He's still way better than the professors that I had at the traditional university that I went to for a year. But I did find at times that it seemed like he was phoning it in a little bit. But I don't feel that at all from Dr. Robert O'Phil, despite his age, like I said. I really felt that passion. And the last lecture in this course, the last lecture, at the last couple minutes, he says a couple things. I don't want to spoil because I want you guys to go take this course, but he says a couple things that I found to be truly inspirational. And I came out of this course with a smile on my face and just inspired to learn more about this subject. So fantastic course overall. Next, I want to go over the recommended books for you guys. So the recommended books are the DSM-5 TR. We have Psychopathology, 2nd edition, and the Oxford Textbook of Psychopathology. So those two psychopathology textbooks, they're quite pricey. I'm not going to go out and buy them for myself anytime soon, but I will probably eventually get around to that. You know, I love collecting textbooks when I can, but most of the textbooks I get from Value Village, thrift stores, places where I can get like a $200 textbook for $5 or $10. That's the way I like to do it. I don't really have the money in my life right now to go around buying $200 textbooks every week. So those two I haven't gotten around to reading. They might be available on Internet Archive. You guys can go check that out for yourselves. I don't know personally. I haven't looked that up yet, but I'll probably check that out later. What I do know is on Internet Archive, and what I have downloaded on my phone in a PDF version is the DSM-5. Do I have a physical copy yet? No, but I am going to get a physical copy eventually, even though it's kind of a pricey book. The DSM-5, well, right now it's 5. Maybe I'll wait for 6. I don't know. But the DSM-5, if you're going to have any interest in psychology, I think you should have it on your shelf. It's the best way to learn about, mental disorders, mental diseases. If you want to learn about that stuff, the DSM-5's kind of the reference textbook, right? So what I like to do is I like to have a PDF version of it on my phone. Obviously, it'd be better to have a physical copy, but I keep a PDF version on my phone. And whenever I'm going to the bathroom or I'm waiting for something, I'm waiting in line, something like that, I have a couple minutes. I could be checking Instagram. I could be checking, TikTok or whatever other people use. I've never really used TikTok, but what I use to substitute for social media is the DSM-5. And the reason why is because it's a textbook, so it's broken up into small little chunks, right? So you can read something really quickly and then kind of just chew on it for the rest of the day. You don't have to read 5-10 pages or something like that. You can read a page or half a page of something, and then you can just chew on that for the rest of your day and just kind of think about it. So that's what I like to do. So if you guys want to kind of get out of the habit of scrolling through social media and stuff like that, maybe download the DSM-5 on your phone and scroll through that instead. You'll obviously learn a lot more. It'll be better for your mental health. And yeah, that's the way I like to do it. I can't really just sit down and read the DSM-5 for hours. It gets a little bit monotonous after time, a little tedious, but yeah, it's a great book to kind of just chip away at and slowly learn about mental diseases. There's no psychologist on the planet that has the entire DSM-5 memorized word for word. It's a reference textbook, so you can kind of just chip away at it over time. So that's what I would recommend, at least for that one. The other two textbooks, like I said, I haven't picked up myself. I don't know where you can find them. Maybe somebody will let me know down below in the comments if there's a link to them. Definitely drop that down below. But yeah, those are the 3 recommended books. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to cover today. We went over the lectures, the synopsis, the recommended books. Like I kind of shared with you guys my thoughts. I found this to be a bit of a darker course. The subject matter was very depressing and dark, but Robert O'Phil found a way to sneak in a couple quick jokes here and there. He kept it light. He kept it very interesting. And yeah, just a fantastic course if you want to learn more about addiction, suicide, and depression. Those are kind of the main things that were covered through this course, and they were covered extraordinarily well. So yeah, fantastic course overall. I hope we get a part 3 to abnormal psychology. We'll see what happens in the future, but I'm sure we're going to get a lot more courses from Dr. Robert O'Phil in the future. And yeah, just an amazing professor. He's quickly becoming one of my favorites, and I enjoyed this course quite a bit. So if you guys have any comments or any questions, you guys can let me know down below in the comments. If you've already taken this course and you guys want to let me know what you guys thought about it, drop it down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends to help boost this channel and the algorithm. Stay tuned for my 1 year of Peterson Academy video. It should be out this weekend. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, it means the absolute world to me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.